Hey guys, this is example 6 from section 5.2, and it's the one where they give you the reports in different boroughs in New York City and whether they're open, closed, or pending. And again, we've got the data are already nicely put together for us in a table with all the totals, so we don't really need to reproduce this table separately. Okay, so first it asks the probability that the report is open and comes from the Bronx. Usually if you've got something with and in it, you're just going to be using one number from the table. So in this case, open and comes from the Bronx. The only place that those two come together are with this 1,121. And we're going to divide that by the total, all of the reports. So 1121 divided by 14518. And that gives us our answer right there. Part 2, the report is closed or comes from Brooklyn. So the biggest difference in this one from here is this one says or rather than and. So or gives us a lot more pieces to the calculation because we want every report that's closed and we want to add that to every report that's from Brooklyn across here. But see these 2706 that are closed and come from Brooklyn? If we added this total to this total, we'd be counting these twice, and we don't want to do that. So we only want to count them in one group or the other. So we start with all of the closed reports, 9869. And we will add to that all the reports from Brooklyn, 3924. But because both of these totals had these reports, these 2706 reports that are closed and came from Brooklyn, we need to subtract that out so that we're only counting them in one group or the other. So minus 2706. Now we've got our total. We divide it by all of the reports, 14,518. And that is our answer for this section. The other way we could have gotten there is taking this total, 9869, and then added to it all the Brooklyn reports that we haven't already counted, which is this 1170 and the 48 pending reports. So that's just another way to get there. If that makes it make more sense to you, it might be easier to remember just to not include these 2706 both times. And we get the same total number. So of course, when we divide by 14518, our probability is the same. Part 3, the report comes from Brooklyn. That one's pretty straightforward because reports from Brooklyn are already added up for us. 3924 divided by the total, 14,518. And so that's our probability that the report comes from Brooklyn. Now we've got the probability that the report does not come from Brooklyn. So this has come up a few times. If the report does not come from Brooklyn, then we can take the probability that it does come from Brooklyn and subtract that from 1 minus, and then we can arrow up, grab that number we just calculated, and here we get the answer for this section. Because all of the reports either come from Brooklyn or don't come from Brooklyn. So in that situation, when it's got the not and it's from something that we've already calculated, then we can take 1 minus, which is also called the complement. Probability that the report is closed, we would take all the closed reports here. I'm not going to keep punching in the numbers. These are pretty straightforward now. All the closed reports, 9869, and we would divide by 14518. Probability that the report is from Manhattan or Staten Island. Here's another or, but in this case there's no overlap because we've got Manhattan or Staten Island. There's not a report that could come from both, so this is just a much more straightforward, take the Manhattan reports, add the Staten Island reports, get the total reports, divide by 14,518. And that's it for this, and this is at this point the last example from section 5.2.